Having an ego and being a man, are they intrinsic to one another, would you say?
Having an ego and being a man.
Yeah.
I would say, well, it would be, wouldn't it? Because like,
so?
in terms of what I thought my perception of what an ego was before,
Anything,
making sure.
It could be what you think. It could be what.
Yeah, because I think, and in terms of like society.
Yeah.
Wise,
societal norms,
what they say a man is and what they say, ego is. You need it might be like linked with leadership. It might be linked to like having the confidence to make decisions for your household or make decisions for society. Because obviously women obviously are getting in positions of power and stuff like that, and there's more balance and things like that. But obviously, if we're talking about like man or what it is to be a man or whatnot in terms of like that, then yeah, for that role of a man on paper would be you would need an ego to do that, or have a good ego to do that.
Yes, I do believe men should have big egos.
Why?
I wouldn't necessarily say you acquire a big ego, but you must inflate your ego in certain situations to get things done as a man, because you're inherently born with no value.
Because like being humble, unless there's some people they're born humble, right?
Yeah.
They're just like that. A lot of time being humble is actually work. It's consciously telling yourself, I'm not that important. It's consciously telling yourself like, like serving other people. Sometimes a lot of those traits don't come natural to people. Whereas ego, I feel comes more natural to a lot of people. Well, maybe in the community I'm from or what I've been around and just seen. Like even on the roads, everything's almost driven by ego. And which is why you see a lot of people crash out and make a lot of bad decisions. You get what I'm saying?
Like there was a guy I was speaking to before, and he was saying like you have to have a level of ego to get things done. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
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 Why do you believe that?
Because I keep saying your ego goes back to your self-confidence, and if you've got self-confidence, then no, you can't. How? You need self-confidence to be able to do things, especially for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to, otherwise you just sit there and shrivel up and be a ball and just.
In terms of having like a healthy ego, like, how does would you say your ego work within your relationships? Like friendships, romantic relationships, your personal relationship with yourself, how would you say it works within your relationships?
I think it works by maintaining balance of understanding, my self-importance and, and understanding the self-importance of the community that is around me.
Yeah.
So just ensuring that, there is self-importance in both. That is a balanced ego for me. That's a healthy ego.
Yeah.
That's me expressing my ego in the most healthiest manner.
And I feel like that's what, if we talk about relationships as well, that's what I feel like men and women look from each other anyway. Women might look from that from us, like to have like, the plan as well. And it's the same thing, vice versa. For me personally, I can't be with someone that doesn't have their shit together, if that makes sense. Like in terms of like, you know what I mean? Like,
Serious?
yeah.
What's
when I say shit together, I mean like, I'm not saying like when I say their shit together, I'm not saying, I'm not expecting you to be like, I got the mad job, I got the, what I mean, all of that stuff. But you got to have like some sort of plan. Like I don't have my shit together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I have a plan.
Okay.
So what makes saying having your shit together probably the wrong term.
Yeah,
but in terms of like having like the focus or having the
I can see you actively pursuing something.
I can see you actively pursuing something.
Yeah,
You can't just be just sitting here just like lackadaisical watching the world pass by and all that stuff. I want to see like some sort of movements, and it doesn't have to be the maddest movements, but you have to have some sort of like lust for life. Like you can't just be letting life go by. And I feel like to do something like that, in some cases it might be you acting upon ego and stuff like that to push that forward. And everybody's lust for life is different. Some people get gain from doing some things, some people get gain from doing other things, but whatever, I just want us to be with someone, or me personally, the way that I view my life is that I want to do something that fulfills me. Do you know what I mean? So that might be an ego thing as well, me doing something for self, but it's something that is like, I guess, positive or something that's going to keep me going or whatnot. Do you know what I mean?
So I think the validation, how we get our validation, I think if it's external, personally, I'm not against it. I think it's great. I think external validation
it's a confidence
great,
booster, isn't it?
But I don't think that's a healthy
way to live your life.
I don't think that's a healthy way of building our ego, getting the external validation. I think it's the internal validation.
Facts.
That's going to be the healthy way of living.
Because that can't change. People's
change.
opinions can change like the weather, but I mean, and people's view on you can change like the weather. But within your own self, we live within our own bodies every single day, 24/7. We are our own. We have to be our own best friend before anyone else. We have to love ourselves before anyone else. You know, when you hear that saying, love yourself, like don't before someone else does. Otherwise, I mean, you're gonna feel like if something happens with that person, then your whole sense of being is with another person. Your sense of being should be with yourself first.
But this is how I know you got a healthy ego.
Why do you say that?
Because on a practical level, where it looks like, it's like, for example, let's say even people start going to the gym, let's say there's a group of 4 friends, you go to the gym together, and they essentially rely on one another. So it's like external validation, right? So they rely on one another. If one person doesn't turn up, or then no one else is turning up, or whatever, So you're someone, you just go to the gym by yourself. You get your own internal validation. You just you have internal motivation to go to the gym. You don't rely on external factors to go there.
Facts.
Where that's a practical way of looking of how we transition to the point of like, is here first. And I know I got to the point in life after all this, searching and understanding, is that I know that things are not out there. I know that it's here.
Times when you're younger, so for example, like when I might come into a bit of money, instead of having building wealth is a lot of delayed gratification. So it's a lot of compounding your money.
It's not instant.
Money bit by bit, so you can grow, right? But obviously, when you're young, say like you've been broke for a long time, you come into some money, you just rush to look super rich.
You're wearing the money. Basically, you're wearing the money.
Wearing the money. You start living the lifestyle. You're in a club blowing money because now it's all ego. Do you know what I mean? It's all ego because you're actually operating from I'm talking about me on a personal level. I'm operating from a place of ego because really and truly, delayed gratification is like, you know what, chill. I got my pin. No one needs to know. Let me put a little away, build compound over a long period of time. Let me chill. Let me stay in the back. And then when I am on that level, really, and I'm sitting on mad bread, I've got my investments, everything's coming in, then I can shine for myself, not for my ego. Do you get it? So I feel like a lot of, if you ask me when I have my ego and I've led me down the wrong path, it's that because in the long run, I'm not saving anything. So you're wearing your money and then you're back to square one.
Is there anyone in your personal life, would you say, had like traits that you wanted to emulate, or someone that inspired you in terms of how they move in their ego, how they look after themselves? Have you got anyone like that within your?
That's a good question.
Within your life.
You know what? I wouldn't say inspire me. I don't want to get too deep, but with my pops,
bro, get deep, man.
My pops we ain't got the best relationship, but he definitely has an ego, but it can be too much, can be arrogant, but he's got an ego which not inspired, but I did kind of appreciate it growing up because it's like, it's funny because I did look at this until you asked me now.
It's funny because you said two things that are opposite.
Did I?
You said I don't really have the best relationship, but he's got something I appreciate.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's
you're going through it.
But even if I don't get along with someone, I can still appreciate something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I can see something in someone that I might.
It shows you're taking the emotion out of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's how I am. Like with the whole, like if someone. Yeah, just I don't know. If I don't like someone, but they're successful or something, or good at making music, but I don't like him because they treat their family bad or something like that. I can still say, alright, cool, you're good at this. But that's how it was with him. So like, yeah, he's ego.
Delve deeper into that though. Like you were saying,
like why I appreciate it.
Like what was it you appreciated? Like what was those things that
you know what? Because everyone knows that he's confident and whatever he says, he stands on. And that
he doesn't waver.
No, and that kind of brings respect. Because you know what, fear. When you fear someone, you actually respect them. In a way.
Yeah, you do.
It's showing respect, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, rah, this guy says that and he stands on it. Yeah, I respect it.
But fear in what type of way? Because this is like
fear, like
what rules with an iron fist?
Alright, to paint a picture, my dad's Ghanaian, African man. You're African. That should say a lot.
Yeah, for real.
Just like growing up, I had fear of my parents. Because I didn't want to get in trouble by them.
Consequences.
Absolute consequences. I did. I was scared of them. Because I didn't want to get in trouble. Like if I'm outside and I was meant to be home at 6, they would literally come looking for me outside. Like if I was in the park, wherever. And I was like, like I thought I could get away with it, but you know your heart pounds. You know, and you have that fear. And you know when you get home, or it's like when you're young, you're out with your mum, you do something wrong, or your dad, the look, or they just say, alright, cool, just wait until we're home, innit? And you know, innit? And that's fear. But that time from where you was at the shop when your mum said that to home, you're scared, and that's fear.
Yeah.
Then you respect that.
For real.
You have to respect that, innit?
For real.
And you don't want to break that boundary. If you don't want to upset someone or do anything wrong, that's respect, right?
For real.
In that sense, that's fear. So for my dad, he had that, and I saw that people respected him. Family, friends, and I've worked in the same environment as him as well, because we worked together, and he had that same thing. So he's had a good ego, but it can be arrogant, if I could put that with ego. The reason why it says arrogant, because it's like sometimes he's too much. It's like, I know I'm right. Sometimes it's a bit too much. Yeah. But that's in his nature. There's nothing malicious behind it. It's just in his nature. So yeah, it's a good question you asked, because I didn't look at that one until you said it.
Bro, in this life, man, no one's gonna save you, especially as men. I feel like with women, hey, don't crucify me, but like with women, I feel like women, like it's within them to go for a man who has a lot of things going for him in terms of like he's a protector, he's a provider. Whereas as men, in the natural sense, we're meant to be the protectors and the providers. And what I mean by no one's gonna save us or save you is in the sense, obviously that term's been out there. It's in the sense where as men we have to find our own way in this life. It's intrinsic, but we have to find our own way. We have to find what works for us and leave the rest behind and go on that path of self-discovery, self-reliance. We have to do all of that stuff ourselves, and there's no other feeling than knowing that you've done something off your own back. Especially I feel like as a man sometimes you have to have a level of selfishness or putting yourself first in order to get ahead in life.
100%. About, you know, no one's gonna, that's how you separate yourself from other people. If you want to be like everybody else or you know, slide in with everybody else, you would have to do some selfishness there. And then anything as well, like people look at it different, like, because if you've got an ego and let's say you're doing something out of selfishness, but that selfish act might help your family, it might help your gain is for other things outside of yourself anyway. So it's a perception thing. So if people are looking at it as, you know, this guy's being selfish by you know, putting himself first or in certain situations or doing everything like that, but necessarily it's not always about that. It could be about the wider thing is setting up a foundation for your later life, setting up a foundation, you know, for your family and all of these things there, and putting yourself in a position that you can end up helping more people that are outside of yourself by having that ego and by pumping yourself up in certain situations and having the confidence to do things and move forward and stuff like that. So I think it is just literally a perception thing. It's like when you're saying, you know, healthy ego, I necessarily wouldn't put them two words together before, but when I think about it and actually break down what it is, ego's just got very negative connotations around it by just the way that I don't know, society has made it to be, I guess.